back to the Bookworms Buddy. It is time for monthly recommendations, and this is a Goodreads group started by Trina over at Between Chapters and Kayla Rain, and I will link to all of that in the description box below. You can come check that out. So this group, you have a subject and you choose books to recommend that coincide with the subject for each month. And this month is on Not Another Love Story. It's non-romantic books, and I could just bombard you guys with a ton of recommendations for this, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to recommend 4 books that are non-romantic. I am not a romance reader. Romance in a storyline is great. I love that, but I don't want the story to completely surround this romance. That just kind of gets on my nerves. I just cannot read romance for some reason. Every now and again, you know, but just a book that is romance, not gonna happen. Anyway, let's get to these recommendations that I have. The first one I've got here is For One More Day by Mitch Albom. And this is a book about if you could go back in time and change things, would you do it? Mitch Albom is a very thought-provoking author. He just has heartfelt stories. They're not big books. They're all pretty much little books. I've read all of them, but I need to read The Timekeeper still, which I don't have that one yet. But I have to recommend him because I think all of us need to feel something. We need to have something that's very thought-provoking and something that can change your life when you read the book. And Mitch Albom, I think, does that. So there's that one. The next one I've got here is Identical by Ellen Hopkins. This is about 2 girls who are identical twins. One is more on the slow side, you know, slow-paced, easygoing. The other one's a little more wild and reckless. And this book stuck with me for a very long time, and it is one of my favorites of Ellen Hopkins. If you didn't know, she does write in verse, so the books go quickly, even though they are big books. They do flow well. They go quickly. I've had people tell me they can't read books in verse because they think that will throw off their reading, and it really doesn't. I don't find myself trying to read it in verse. I just read it like a normal book. You learn that once you start reading them. But this is one of my favorites, and I needed to recommend that one. The next one we've got here is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. And this is creepy, creepy, creepy of all creepies. In this story, you got post-apocalyptic time, and when people look out their windows or out in the daylight, they see these creatures or beings or whatever that makes them lose their mind. They get violent, they kill people, they end up killing themselves. So people have had to start wearing blindfolds so they don't see what's going on. They had to start learning to get around with blindfolds, and it keeps them from turning into these violent people, these maniacs. And this is a story about a woman with her 2 children and what goes on. I'm not going to tell you anything about what goes on because it's something that you should experience yourself, but it is very creepy. I could not help but put myself in the position of this woman and just felt all of that. And it's fantastic, especially if you like creepiness. And the last book that I'm going to recommend to you is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. For those of you who did not know, Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, and he has that same great, pleasing talent for writing. This is my favorite Joe Hill book. I just think it's wrote really well, and you will not look at Christmas the same way or Christmas songs the same way if you read this book. And I'm really wanting to do a reread of this, so I may have to arrange that come Halloween. So we will see, but absolutely wonderful writing, beautiful characters, developed really well. Absolutely love the story. So it's really a must read, so I had to recommend this one. And that is it on my recommendations. Like I said, I could have bombarded you with a ton of books, but I didn't want this video to be really, really, really long. So what kind of books can you recommend for me that is non-romance? List them in the comments below and we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll find something new to read. Thanks guys for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.